Guys, what's happening on? It's the narrative that everyone is discussing. Everything we already knew about the Caitlin Clark effect seemed to be confirmed by the news that broke. The headlines were visible to you. The posts on social media were visible to you. In just her second season, Caitlin Clark was formally selected as the team captain for the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game, an amazing honor taking place in her hometown of Indianapolis, a tribute to her celebrity status and the millions of new admirers she has attracted to the sport. Additionally, this appears to be a huge victory on the surface, an indication that the league is welcoming its new star. That's the surface tale, though. Other broadcasters are content to use that simple headline. We are not additional channels. We delve farther. What if I told you that there was a tale of startling disrespect, even betrayal, behind that joyous announcement? What if I told you that Caitlin Clark received the clearest message possible from the very athletes who play on the court alongside her, the players who profit from the sold-out arenas and chartered flights she oversees? Furthermore, it's hardly a respectful message. It conveys a humiliating message, because a different, much worse picture appears when you go past the headline and into the official voting numbers. And we're going to reveal the truth about that all-star voting tonight. We'll provide the evidence and analyze Caitlin Clark's response to her peers' public betrayal. This is one that you will want to stay for. Now, since the numbers don't lie, let's go straight into the hard data. There are 3 distinct groups in the WNBA All-Star voting process. There are the players themselves, the media, and the supporters. A specific percentage of the outcome is determined by the votes cast by each group. Let's begin by talking about the fans. The Caitlin Clark effect is simply indisputable in this situation. It is a natural force. She received more than simply a large number of votes. With almost 1.3 million votes from fans, she broke the all-time record. A landslide occurred. She was chosen as the league's top guard by the supporters, ticket buyers, and game watchers who are spearheading this new age. Forget about it. Without a doubt, the media vote comes next. These are the professionals, right? Journalists and analysts who are compensated to cover every game and analyze performance rather than merely hype. The media selected Caitlin Clark as the 3rd best guard in the league despite her ups and downs this season. Her enormous influence on the court is recognized by that prestigious ranking. The player vote comes next, though. This is the point at which the pleasant tale breaks down and the treachery becomes apparent. The women she competes against each night are her peers, and this is their vote. What were their words? They ranked Caitlin Clark as the 9th best guard in the WNBA. Let me say that again. It's nearly unbelievable. Fans rank 1st, specialists rank 3rd, and those who claim to be the best of the best rank 9th. It wasn't an accident. It was a message. You may be thinking, well, maybe that's just one interpretation, but we weren't the only ones who saw these data and realized something was badly wrong right away. Some of the biggest and most reputable voices in the sports world raised the alarm when the voting breakdown was made public, and they didn't keep quiet about it. Let's begin with Dick Vitale of ESPN, a true legend. Throughout his career, he has witnessed it everything. He didn't hold back when he saw these figures. I'm quoting him precisely when I say that he went public and described it as sheer envy. He claimed that there was no other reason why Caitlin Clark was ranked as the 9th best guard by WNBA players. He thinks that eventually they will see the true impact she has had on every player in their league. He is also not by alone. Since the video became viral again, you've probably all seen it by now. Charles Barkley is an NBA legend and analyst. This is what he has been saying for more than a year. He notably branded the WNBA players petty for their treatment of Clark while staring into the camera. He said, and this is what I'm quoting, "Y'all should be thanking that girl for getting y'all a private charters, all the money and visibility she brings into the WNBA." 2 of the most powerful voices in basketball media, Dick Vitale and Charles Barkley, are saying the same thing. This isn't merely a fan hypothesis, you know. What millions of us can see with our own eyes is being confirmed by them. This has nothing to do with on-court performance. This is private. This has to do with jealousy. Naturally, the detractors and ardent NBA supporters who stand up for the status quo will now jump in and say, wait, this isn't about jealousy at all. Performance is the only consideration here. They will contend that the players are aware of her shortcomings and cast their votes appropriately. And look, we have to be truthful about her season in order to be fair. Caitlin Clark's sophomore campaign hasn't been flawless. She has undoubtedly encountered hardship. She had reportedly missed 22 of her previous 23-point attempts and was in the midst of a terrible shooting slump. For any athlete, let alone a superstar, that is a difficult stretch. Furthermore, there is cause for concern regarding the turnover figures. She now leads the entire WNBA with an average of 5.9 turnovers per game, which is almost twice as much as the next closest player. Yes, there are difficulties on the court. There is no denying that. Does that, however, explain why she was ranked 9th by her peers? Not even close. And the voting data we already discussed contains the proof. Consider it. The experts noticed the same turnovers of her play was so poor that she should have been rated as the 9th best guard. They witnessed the similar decline in gunfire. Because they saw the big picture, they still came to the conclusion that she was the 3rd best guard in the league. They witnessed the winning plays, the assists, and the gravity she produces on the floor. After seeing the identical image, the players decided to rank her 10th. In any case, the media vote demonstrates that statistics have nothing to do with this. This was a private matter. What was the purpose of the player vote, then, if it wasn't really about performance? You must acknowledge that this all-star snub isn't occurring in a vacuum in order to comprehend it. It is a sign of a much broader pattern of stress that appears to follow the Clark effect everywhere. This also applies within the locker room of the Indiana Fever. You only need to look at the recent unpleasant issue involving veteran player Dana Bonner for evidence. Now, Bonner was a well-known free agent addition for the Fever, who was expected to contribute significantly to this developing club. However, to put it kindly, her stay in Indiana was a total disaster. The team abruptly waived her at the end of the brief, but turbulent encounter. However, why? Reports state that the fit wasn't good from the start. The main problem stemmed from Bonner's alleged dissatisfaction with being demoted to a bench position, which was required since the team continued to center everything around Caitlin Clark. She reportedly asked for a trade and made it known that she had no interest in playing for the Fever again when things went so terrible. Consider that. Shortly after joining the squad, a significant veteran player quits because she is dissatisfied with her role in the new system. It's a potent illustration of the internal conflict that arises when a team is rebuilt around a single generational great. It implies that the jealousy or animosity evident in the all-star vote may simply be the outward manifestation of a deeper league-wide battle to adjust to the new global order that Caitlin Clark established. Alright, now in order to fully comprehend the situation, we need to delve a bit deeper because there is an unstated element involved. The truth is that the story of player jealousy is inextricably linked to the intricate and delicate issues of privilege and racism within the WNBA. Let's be honest about it. According to sources, almost 70% of the players in the league are black, making Caitlin Clark a white superstar in a largely black league. As a result, some fans and the media have frequently portrayed the league's established black players as cruel females or haters who are merely envious of the extraordinary attention a white player is getting. However, that is just one aspect of a very complex situation. Additionally, this circumstance has prompted a long overdue and crucial reply. It has brought attention to the actual history of the league's black stars being undermarketed and receiving unfair media attention for many years. This is more than a fan theory. Players themselves have discussed it. Just listen to white Las Vegas Aces player Kelsey Plum. She has openly claimed that because she was straight and white, she was given preferential treatment early in her career. And she described it as absolutely a problem in our league. You see that the player vote is more than just a snub when you comprehend its context. It's a flashpoint in culture. It is situated at the nexus of media, sports, and a larger, more intricate social discourse. Although there is genuine disrespect, the causes are entangled in years of history and justifiable annoyance. Alright, so you hear her talking, and at first glance it sounds normal. She describes being a captain as a cool honor when asked about it. Obviously, I'm going to try to get my teammates on my team. She responds when asked if she will select her teammates for her all-star roster. Why wouldn't I? She is at ease. She is competent. She is concentrated. This isn't your typical news conference, though, given that she was aware that her peers had just placed her ninth. This is a calculated decision. She is deliberately resisting the temptation. She refuses to accept the dispute. She doesn't provide the joy of a public feud to the players who rejected her. She talks about the honor rather than adding to the drama. She talks about encouraging her teammates and her city. She is acting as a leader, while others are being petty. She rises above everything by refusing to get into the mess with them, which only makes the other players' disdain seem even more pitiful. That is how she responded. Additionally, it has greater impact than any irate quotation. What does this mean for us now? There is much more to this all-star vote and this massive betrayal than just a list of names. It shows a league at a pivotal point in its history. There is a huge dilemma facing the WNBA right now. Caitlin Clark, its most valuable growth asset, is also the cause of its biggest internal culture obstacle. On the one hand, the league's economic expansion is unquestionably being propelled by the Clark effect. We are discussing the unprecedented introduction of chartered aircraft for all teams, sold-out venues in every city, and record-breaking television ratings. The next collective bargaining agreement, which is anticipated to result in noticeably larger compensation for each and every player, will be directly impacted by that growth. However, there is also this unmistakable opposition from some of the seasoned players in the league. The ninth place vote demonstrated this reluctance. The WNBA may have a long-term cultural fault line as a result. The league's capacity to resolve this conflict is crucial to its entire future. How can a once-in-a-generation superstar be promoted without alienating or demeaning the experienced players who founded the league? Every choice the league makes, from marketing campaigns to officiating, is now examined through this extraordinarily complicated prism, making it a high-stakes balancing act. This is no longer merely sports drama. We are all witnessing the fight in real time for the WNBA's soul and future identity. That's just our breakdown now. We're interested in your opinions. Please let us know by leaving a comment below. Did the players' all-star vote for Caitlin Clark accurately represent her performance? Or was it just envy? As Dick Vitale phrased it, make sure to click the subscribe button and set the notification bell if you enjoy in-depth analyses that go beyond the obvious headlines so you never miss an update.